Shalom, welcome, man. Starting off giving all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakatash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to the Akims and the Akubs, the brothers and the few sisters who's out here pushing the truth. This is the brother Yashar from the camp, Children of Light, coming in with another lesson, another installment of actually my YouTube series that I started.
I understand you running.
It says exposing the elitists, going into exposing, because we remember we're at the end of time, so just exposing all the witchcraft, man, from and how they perform witchcraft at all angles. All right, from your minor, regular, middle class, lower class citizens, your witches and warlocks out here, your first, second, third degree masons. All right, and trust me, any little town, city you stay in, there is a lodge near you. And some towns, depending on the population of the size of the town or city, they have multiple lodges. All right, just like we have multiple different Hebrew Israelite camps, they have multiple different lodges. All right. As a matter of fact, I want to get, before I go into the lesson, just to show you what you're dealing with in this world. Okay, you either dealing with what they call positive or negative. You got a battery. You got a positive side and a negative side, right? If a woman is pregnant, she want to see if she got a baby or not. It's either a positive test or a negative test, okay? Same thing on this truth or in this world. You have the ones that's pushing this truth to 100%, the ones that have the unction from the Lord, like it says in 1 John 22:20. You have an unction from the Lord, and you know all things. That's the holy prophets. Then you also have the ones on the left-hand side, which are starting with the international banking families. They are the elites of this world. That's why I made that channel or that playlist exposing the elitists. They're the ones that's pushing all the evilness and wickedness on this earth, okay? Lord created two sides to all things. I'll just put Sirach, KJV. It's like 40th chapter, 41st chapter. Yeah, let me just scroll for it, because I do want to get this scripture so you brothers out there can understand what we're dealing with, okay? It's like, let's see, 41. No, it got to be like 37, 38, 36. Yeah, just give me a few moments and I'm gonna pull it up. Was it not in 41? I mean 39? No, two sides, not no three sides. Two sides to all things. 42 and 24. Okay. 42 and 24. Here we go. So it says, Sirach, where Ecclesiastes chapter 42, verse 24. All things are double, one against another, and he have made nothing imperfect. All right. One thing established the good or another, and who shall be filled beholding his glory? Right. So the Most High created good and evil on this earth, and ain't nobody you can't do nothing about that. You can't say somebody's they part-time good, part-time evil. No, it's either you're doing what's right or you're doing what's wrong, and that defines Esau and Jacob, which we actually gonna get into that because we have terms. We're gonna bring them out the book, Nature Knows No Color Line. So this is the book I'm gonna be reading from today, all right? And just highlight some key points, some things that were written by the author, J.A. Rogers. And great information in this book. It really explains to you the in-depth, how deep that our quote-unquote black roots run through society, Not just as being on the coast of Africa, not just us being, as we know in the Bible, the tribe of Judah, Benjamin, Levi, but it gives you a whole timeline of where he was at in the 1400s, in the 1300s, in the BC era, all the way back, because we can stretch the history, okay? But a great book to get if you don't have it, and it's pretty self-explanatory in the title. Nature Knows No Color Line. I did this lesson a couple of days ago. Did not get, well, it got saved. I posted it, but I realized that it did not have any audio. So I said, all right, no worries. I'm gonna do it again. Here we go. But I'm gonna be reading from page 3 from the book, starting off. All right. Put this right here. And of course, I can't bring the book up on the screen. I have a physical book, so just listen along. This is page 3. It says, the evident truth. No, I'm gonna start here. It says Inman, nature is always attempting to breed new races and varieties and appears to abominate sameness. He says nature is always attempting to breed new races and varieties and appears to abominate sameness. All right, that's why Esau used the term Mother Nature. It says, this being so, there is a strong resistance to breed back to the same ancestral form. The evident truth is that each human being is a race, which that's false, a variety in himself, a variety through which runs fundamental unity. And that's what they was trying to perform at the Tower of Babel, because we know the Lord created what? Man and woman, man and beast. And when it comes to quote unquote race, which is not even race, it's nationality, the Lord gave us 18 nations, starting with Jacob, Israel, Yasharallah. Okay, we're the chosen nation. That's why last video I brought out what? 1 Peter 2:9, Deuteronomy 14:2. But anyways, let's go to Genesis chapter 10, because this author of this book said that, well, not even him. I'm sorry. He quoted someone named Inman that said the evident truth is that each human being is a race, a variety in himself, a variety through which runs fundamental unity. And that's what the world teaches you. The world teaches you to be all love, peace, love everybody. The Lord never said that, So let's go to Genesis chapter 10. It says, now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham. Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and unto them were sons born after the flood. Now you can go through this whole chapter. I'm not gonna go through it because I'm just pointing out a key scripture, a key verse or two. But this explains to you where mankind came from after the flood. All right. It wasn't look, we ain't intermingled with these nations. It ain't no such thing as mixed races, mixed people. If your dad is white and your mom is a Judite, then you were Edomite. If your dad is a Hamite and your mom is a Italian, you are a Hamite. Okay? If your dad is a Gadite and your mom is from Venezuela, you are a Gadite. You're not no Asherite. The man carries the seed. So no, it's no such thing as fundamental unity, and we know that from Genesis chapter 10, the Table of Nations. Why do you think it's called the Table of Nations? All right, and we're gonna go over because they was trying to do the same thing after the flood. They was trying to do what? Build fundamental unity between the nations. But the Most High had the angel intervene. So let's read that. This is Genesis chapter 11, starting at 1. It says, and the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. Okay, so it's telling you that all the nations were gathered together at this time. And they said to one another, go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, go to, let us build us a city and a tower, which is called the Tower of Babel. We're gonna get to it. Whose top may reach unto the heaven. And let us make a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the earth. And the Lord came down to see the city and tower, which the children of men builded. See that? The children of men. Because we know the Most High said the man's wisdom is foolish to the Most High. Let's get that real quick. So they thought that they was doing something. Man's wisdom is foolish. They thought that they was gonna overtake the Most High's rule, His word, His prophecy, by building a tower up to heaven and uniting all the nations together. Nope. Remember, the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. He gives the decrees. He gives the orders. We follow. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 3:19. We're gonna get back. Well, we can just pull it from right here. We're gonna get back to the Genesis. 1 Corinthians 3:19. It says, I'm gonna start at 18. Let no man deceive himself. If any man among you seemeth to be wise in this world, see that? Who are the considered the wise in this world? Your pastors, your preachers, T.D. Jakes, Joel Osteen, Creflo Dollar, you know, all your theological cemetery, as we call them, theological seminary professors, all your college professors. You know, everybody thinks they wise and they all smart and, oh my God, he's a professor. He spent the last 20 to 30 years mastering his craft and earning his PhD. Well, like Elder Tahar was saying on a recent outside lesson, all his friends that he went to school with, and we know the Elder has experience. We know this. We know he's the top teacher on the earth, hands down. All right, followed by the rest of the apostles. Elders and apostles of Great Millstone, you know, Elder Gabar, Elder Our Lamar, okay, so all to the, you know, down to the order. But anyways, he said that all the people that he went to school with that dropped out of school later in life, they became what? Mechanics, business owners, you know, they have their own plumbing business. So only thing college is really gonna teach you is one-dimensional information, what I call it. You only gonna learn this information in one field, and then you're gonna spend 2 to 4, maybe 6 years in that field, at that college, at that university, and then as soon as you finish that, you're gonna have so many student loans to pay for, just like all of America does. And then not only is you gonna have to pay for going to the school, 4 years later after you enrolled in the school and graduated, it's gonna take you at least another year, 2 years average to get a job. So that's what I call one-dimensional knowledge, man. You better off going to get you a trade, going to get you a little job, working until you get this trade, and doing that, and then going into a field. And that's why a majority of people saying F college. But anyways, it says 18, let no man deceive himself. If any man among you seemeth to be wise in this world, let him become a fool that he may be wise. So when you come into this truth, excuse me, because it's really speaking to us Israelites. When you come into this truth, whatever you came in, whatever you knew or learned before you came into this truth, if it was of this world, scratch that, delete that, and learn this. We ain't saying that if you knew how to build a car transmission, that you want to forget that. No, take the you know, the important things in this world, things you can use, but all that other, oh, I was a Christian, or I was a Muslim, oh, I believe this, or I believe that, oh, I don't believe the Sabbath it's only on Saturdays and Sundays. Scratch that. Welcome to the 100% doctrine of Yahweh Shah that he gave us. All right, so let's get back into it. This is Genesis chapter 11. It's like your chapter 12. Hopefully you don't, do that. It says, it's chapter 11, verse 5. It says, and the Lord came down to see in the city and the tower, which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they began to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. So they actually thought that nothing was going to stop them from building this tower and uniting the people under one language, in one city. Verse 7, it says, go to, let us go down and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon all the face of the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth. And from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon all the face of the earth. All right. That's why Moab over here, in China. That's why, and I'm speaking, over time this happened. Well, that's the results of that is you got Moab over there in China. You got South Africans over there in South Africa. You got majority of the Northern Kingdom over here in South America. You got Judah black ass over here in North America. You got and still in Africa. But what I'm saying is everybody was spread apart. Let men tell it they was gonna come together in unison in one. Nope, the Lord confounded their ass. That's why you are where you at today. Now, anyways, it says let's go back to the book, page 3. Now I'm gonna scroll down. It says certain anthropologists, some of them of our times, could not either, dominated by the slave holding interest or other exploitation, they dubbed mixed bloods mongrels and preached race purity. And that's why Edomites call themselves white, because they want to be represented by righteousness and by light, by what doing, the righteous on the earth. That's why they paint themselves as little angels and little baby angels with they private parts out. What's righteous about that? That's not righteous. That's a false idol. The Lord said, "You shall have no gods above me, no false idols," and that's what that is. So that's in righteousness within itself. It says, "But we know that the nearly pure peoples, as the Pygmies of the Congo, and the Andaman Islanders, and the Anos, are the farthest down, and that the impure, the so-called mongrels, are not only more advanced, but are among the highest up." Now let's look what a mongrel is real quick, because I think that's talking about them Hamites. Mongrel. No. Let's see if it says in the Bible. So let's see. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, but modern versions like use it in Zechariah to describe a mixed race taking over the Philistine of Ashad. Historically, it represents ethnic intermixing of people deemed of impure bloodlines, most famously Samaritans, right? What they would call a mixed person. Remember, we know ain't no such thing as mixed. Now, nations do conquer other nations and interbreed within the nations, right? But that's what that's going into. So real quick in the book it says, now this is the point. As regards mixture of so-called Negro and Caucasian, we have heard much of the white strain in the black man and almost nothing of the black strain in the white man. Why is that? Because it is. Esau conquered us. And when you conquer somebody, you get to hide any and everything about them to exalt yourself and your people. It's human nature. Don't the scriptures say jealousy is the rage of a man? So if Esau conquered you and he know that you the best in the world, you got the best women, you make the best food, you the most athletic, you the most talented, the smartest, as the 12 tribes are. When he conquers you, he gonna paint and it happens over time. It don't happen in days. It takes years to do this. It's called iconoclasm, whitewashing. He gonna lie to the whole world and say that he started all that. He's the smartest. He's the most talented. That's why you think they have Miss America, and you rarely ever see a black woman or a Latin woman winning Miss America. They gotta go win Miss Mexico or something, Miss Africa or something. You look up the most finest women in the world, top 10, and they give you like 7, 8 Edomites. We know that. Come on now. Y'all only saying that because y'all famous. All right. Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. That's why they get to paint to the world like they the best of everything. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof, which is the Israelites, starting with the prophets. If not, where and who is he? Oh, he right here. He right here on this earth. Starting with the Rothschilds, with the bank. I mean, not just the Rothschilds, with the international banking families. They the ones that cover the faces of the judges, because we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua that they the ones that control this world. We just read it. Now let's go to this scripture. Micah 2:2. Actually, we're gonna start at the first verse. It says, "Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds." So from the time that this morning when I got up, I cooked some breakfast, I took a shower, and I hopped right on the lesson. The average Edomite, when they get up, they going to put on some death music, some rock music. They stink, ain't taking no shower, they unclean. They going to kiss their dog and do that, some bull crap. Now, I just gave you what the average morning for a prophet, right? Hopeful elect, shall I say. Now let's look to see what the average morning for the elites is. They wake up, they make laws, they raise the stock market up so they can, make more money off the people. They come up with these bullcrap laws that you would never know or hear about on how they can tax people more, on how they can how they finna go and kidnap this country's leader over here, so they can take him and hold him for ransom, and use that as power to gain access to his country, his resources. And we just saw that with what they did to Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela. These are all the things that the elites wake up and perform and think about. It says when the morning is light, they practice it. So when everybody's up, the day is rolling. They got their news, they got their CNN, they news channels going. And I like how Akim Karab pointed out in him and Mashiach's outside lesson. News stands for North, East, Southwest. That's how you get the attention of everybody and all the people. Why you think they got news broadcasting on Eastern Standard Time, Central Standard Time, and Pacific Standard Time? So no matter what time you waking up, what time you get off work, what time you going to sleep, all you got to do is turn that television on, which 90% of Americans do, and they get to feed you lies and bullcrap. They get to feed you fake media, proxy wars like Iran and U.S. right now. Every time you look up, U.S. struck Iran, Iran struck U.S. They still got Ukraine and Russia fighting. They still got Israel and Palestine fighting. We know World War III is coming, the third woe spoken over Revelations. They still got these stupid sports going. They got the New York Knicks just beat the San Antonio Spurs in the NBA Finals, and all of a sudden you got fans fighting fans and all this. This ain't never happened before like this. You got the FIFA World Cup going. Oh, look, the world is coming into unison. The world is, but then really the world ain't coming into unison, because you got certain countries actually, like Trump, for instance. He talking about, oh, if Belgium beats the USA, I'm gonna put a 400% tax on Belgian waffles. This is the type of witchcraft and wickedness that these people perform. You want to base how much price you gonna charge for some waffles, which people need to eat and live by, off of a soccer game. But this is the leader of y'all's country, man. And if you don't believe me, look at this. Trump puts 400% tax on Belgium waffles. This is outrageous, man. President Donald Trump. Okay, it say that could have been fake. President Donald Trump has not placed a 400 tax on Belgian waffles. This claim stems from viral satire on the internet's meme spreading. Okay, so there go that AI crap again, which I actually saw a brother post this, but false information, false news. But I wouldn't look. He's the cruel Lord. I wouldn't hold it past him. But yeah, man, they put all these things, all these different signs and symbols out here. All the 3s, all the 6s, all the 9s, all the little subliminal messages about raping little kids with the pizza and all that, Pizzagate. All these different things out here, man. All the little hand signals and the little gestures and the little Baphomet horns they like to throw up when they talking. All the little Masonic symbols that they be throwing up. All you agents of chaos and witchcraft out here, this is what y'all do when y'all wake up in the morning and do it or in front of the people. Because y'all really trying to do this to destroy the nation of Israel. That's why at my job, you had the old broke back black dude come in with the Mason shirt on, and I'm just staring at him like at this point, at this point, I'm not even hiding nothing from y'all, because y'all ain't hiding nothing from us. I'm staring at him like, really, bro? And you got all the white people, they looking at him, then they looking at me like, oh, he can see. Why is he staring? You know why I'm staring at him. Because y'all all some witches and warlocks, and y'all gonna die for it. Anyways, back to the lesson. Micah 2:2, and they covet fields, and they take them by violence in houses and take them away. That's exactly what they did to us on the slave coast of Africa. Why you think they call it the slave coast? Because they took the Israelites that were exiled to that area, because we had nowhere to go. Why you think we was at the end of Africa, the Horn of Africa? They took us from them cities and states and countries and enslaved us. All right, same thing with Gad and Reuben. They came over here, not just Gad and Reuben, the whole northern kingdom. They came over here to North America, South America, Christopher Columbus. All right, and what did they do? Enslave them. They made 4 voyages. Christopher Columbus performed 4 voyages. And each voyage, he came back with more and more men. To do what? Rape, rob, and murder. And they covered fields, and they take them by violence, and houses, and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. See that? So that's the whole. That sums up Esau and how he conducts business. All right, he gonna enslave you and oppress you and afflict you. That's why this man gotta go. So we gonna go to page 4, right? Because they claim up and down that these Caucasian devils are just the greatest people of all time. Just, you know, the few, the proud, the Americans, is always like to say. But that's false. Because let's read this. It says, this is page 4. As I said, probably many people will be offended by this book, and there are those who will not. All human beings, through the ages may be roughly divided into egotists and altruists. It says the egotists, feeling insufficient in themselves, need someone to be better than. Right, that's Esau for you. Esau know he ain't shit. He know he the basis of men, at least the elites do. And the average Edomite, he knows spiritually that he ain't shit. That's why they always trying to look for Jake to mess up or do something so they can laugh at him, or look for Jake to pronounce a word wrong. All right, going back to that college crap. Oh, you don't know how to speak. You don't know how to talk. Well, guess what? Let's learn the pure language, and I guarantee you don't know that. English and Spanish. Them is broken languages. Spanish is a little okay, but English is a broken language. We just read that the Lord created 2 things: positive, negative, right, wrong. So where did y'all get all these mixed words? Maybe, might. That ain't in the Hebrew language. I might can be there tomorrow. No, it's either I will be there tomorrow, I won't be there tomorrow. He, or shouldn't, wouldn't, couldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't do that, or I couldn't do that. No, it's don't do that, or do that. All right, either yes or no. Ain't no in between. We just read that in the scriptures. Sirach 42. So these Edomites ain't smart, man. They only act smart because they control the world right now. We gonna dumb them down though. We gonna put them back in their natural habitat. Trust me, believe that, in the kingdom of heaven. All right. It says the egotists, feeling insufficient in themselves, need someone to be better than, a sort of dope, as it were, to provide courage to carry on. Right, and that's what they did through Stockholm Syndrome. They acted as the chosen people of God, and fooled Jake. All right, to them believing that they was just slaves and 3rd-class citizens, so they could be empowered, so they can empower themselves to get your black royal ass to do what they were told you to do, not knowing that you the most important people on the earth. God chose Israel. He didn't choose no other nations. All right, you can find that in Deuteronomy 32, from verse 8 to 9 to 10. It said let's get it real quick, because these devils, man, they ain't nothing, man. They only acting the part because they in power right now. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 8. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance. So each and every nation, remember we just discussed the 18 nations, Genesis chapter 10. Each nation got their own inheritance. When he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. So we come first, no matter what. Period, point blank. For the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. See that? See that? Look, Esau ain't chosen. The chosen nation is Israel, Yasharallah, prince of the power. All right? So don't let these devils fool you, man. Do you. Be you. All you got to do in this life is be you as an Israelite. And everything else, lead and everything else going to follow. On the other hand, the altruists, with their inner strength, that's Jake, giving them a sense of mental well-being, right? Because you know you're doing right at the end of the day. That's why Jacob fight to the death when he know he doing right, because he know what? That he's in the right. Endeavor to see the good rather than the evil, right? We not no evil devil worshippers like y'all. Yeah, some of our people have went into that, but for the most part, Jake, spiritually, he got a sense of doing what's right and doing what's good. You know, rather than that's why your biggest drug dealers say, yeah, man, I sold 100 bricks, but I make sure I get back to the kids when it comes when it come time for these holidays and school, back to school, right? Because Jake got a sense of doing right, even when he know he living wrong, you know. And endeavor to see the good rather than the evil in others, and how that good might be increased, right? And that's why we were given this truth, man, to increase the good on this earth, starting with the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, to preach it to our people. So he said that, where is that? Yeah. So since we saw who's good on this earth, the Israelites, and who's evil on this earth, the Edomites, let's go into who salvation is for. All right, that's what it all come down to. I said all that to say, to bring this scripture out. This is what it comes down to. Galatians 3:18. For if the inheritance be of the law, which was given to the Israelites, it is no more of promise, but God gave it to Abraham by promise. That's who the law is for, the Israelites. And guess what? Since we got the law, we also have the covenant, meaning we have the blessings of what? Being kings in heaven, joint heirs of the throne with Yahweh Shai. Esau, y'all got 1,000 years of slavery coming, and then we rounding y'all ass up and burning y'all. Romans 9:4 to back that up. Who are Israelites? To whom pertaineth the adoption? Remember, we the sons of God. And the glory, and the covenants, and the giving of the law, and the service of God. See that? So that's our lot. That's our inheritance, is being the servants, the sons of God, and being able to, in due time, be righteous kings on this earth. Because what does the scripture say? We're going to get that real quick, and we're going to end it. What's that? Proverbs 29:2. Come on. It says, verse 1, Proverbs 29:1. He that being often reproved harden his neck shall suddenly be destroyed, and that without remedy. Because Esau always being reproved, and it's starting with the prophets. That's why the Lord said, what? He shall spew them out by the mouth of the prophets, because we always exposing his wickedness every day. Verse 2, when the righteous are in authority, that's going to be us in the kingdom of heaven, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, that's currently right now in America, all over the world, the people mourn. And you seeing it all over. You seeing riots, you seeing government uproars, you seeing government officials getting killed and beat, and kidnapped, all right, by the people. You seeing murders at an all-time high. All this wickedness, man. But with that being said, hope you was watching, was edified, and just know the Lord made two things, righteousness and wickedness. And we out here to expose the wicked, because we the righteous. With that, shalom. Kam Yasharala.